your stimulus money at that. And in New York, they are giving it away for back-to-school supplies. Now, every child between the ages of 3 and 17 is eligible for $200 as long as they already get food stamps or have welfare. Could this be why stimulus is being slow to create some jobs? Grover Norquist is president of the Americans for Tax Reform. Grover, what do you make of this?
Well, the whole idea of the government spending money to create jobs or make us rich misses that the government has to take a dollar out of the economy through taxes or debt to put it into the economy somewhere else. You take it from people who earned it, you give it to people who didn't. At the end of the day, you don't have more dollars, you don't have more jobs, you've just moved money around for political reasons. That's why the economy has been getting worse ever since they passed the stimulus package.
All right, now this is really just expanded welfare, right? I mean, that's what it is.
Yes. Look, the whole stimulus idea, right? There was a series of $700+ billion. Right. What's in the list of things they were spending money on? In the last 20 years, these are ideas that the federal government said no to, that the cities said no to, the states said no, the private philanthropists said no, the business community said no. Everybody said no to these ideas, and they took a collection of all these ideas that have been rejected by the federal government, which spends on almost anything, the state governments, the city governments, the private philanthropists, the business community, and the projects that none of those people wanted to do went into the stimulus package. This is bottom-of-the-barrel stuff. What did you expect? But,
you know, Grover, again, with all of these programs, I always try to give the benefit of the doubt and try to think it through maybe what the logic could be. And part of me says, all right, $200 for back-to-school supplies. So all of a sudden, the Staples and Office Max are seeing a pickup in sales, and all of a sudden then they have to hire more workers. Ipso facto, that's stimulative. What do you make of that?
Well, except that's only half the equation. The first half of the equation is they stole the $200 from somebody or they borrowed it from somebody, so it disappeared from the real economy. Then they brought it over here with a certain percentage takeoff for the government, and then they handed it out over here. If you were to take a bucket of water out of one side of a lake and pour it into the other side of the lake, do you think you have more water? Do you think you have a deeper lake at the end of this process? That's what taking $200 from a taxpayer who earned it and giving it to somebody on welfare who didn't earn it. The water in the lake isn't deeper. You just moved it around.
Isaac, I thought you were asking me an SAT question. It was a nightmare revisiting my childhood. Let me ask you about this report today. We have the deficit out. It's at $1.3 trillion right now. We still have a couple of months ago. It's shattering all records. And now we have Ben Bernanke in the Fed meeting today saying, you know what, we're seeing an improvement. Now, do you think that the administration, the Congress, will read the improvement that Ben Bernanke and his buddies are seeing on the Fed as a sign that this stimulus you just knocked is working, that it is getting the desired results, and Grover Norquist is the one who's all wet, your lake reference notwithstanding?
Okay, well, the stimulus, they passed the stimulus 6 months ago. If the markets were excited about this idea of stealing money from one person and giving it to somebody who is politically connected, you should have seen things improving. Instead, they were getting worse over the last 6 months. What's changed in the last 6 months? The American people have turned against cap and trade, the energy tax. They've turned against the government's taking over of health care. Both of those massive new government programs look less likely to pass, or if they do pass, they'll be in a watered down.
So are you saying, Grover, that's why the markets have been improving of late, because as big government as we've been seeing, it's not as big as we could have seen?
Yes, because 3 months ago, it was obvious they were going to have massive taxes on energy, and the government was going to nationalize the healthcare industry and destroy the pharmaceutical companies and destroy the insurance companies and take away your right to see a doctor and add $1, $2, or $3 trillion to government spending, depending on whose bill you were talking about. And that's very frightening to the markets and to anybody thinking of investing. How could you invest in a future where you don't know the price of energy, you don't know whether whole industries are going to be wiped out? As it becomes clear that that's less likely to happen. Every day Obama has a bad day, the market will more likely do better. All of these demonstrations, the Tea Party demonstrations, the challenges to those legislators out there, when people see that on TV, they go, You mean Washington might not destroy the energy industry? It might not destroy the medicine and the drug industry and the hospitals? Maybe the market will come back if that's not going to happen.
Grover Norquist, good seeing you again. Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right, teased and all but dismissed, but for lawmakers not listening to these seniors, will there be a price to pay? And what Congress can learn from Apple.
Fly higher. Go further with us. U.S. Bank, America's strongest banks. And our strengths have never been more aligned with the needs of our nation. We are well capitalized, eager to lend, and focused on helping businesses and consumers come through these extraordinary times with flying colors. Imagine what you can do with all of us serving you. U.S. Bank.